Hi, I'm Lynne with Softsquares. Today I'm going to show you all the things I've been working on and why you haven't seen me for a while. So behind me is my design wall, and it is full of projects and they're all completed. I also have 10 quilts that I recently bound, so everything I was in the middle of has been completed except for this reflections quilt right here, which it's just a matter of putting it together, but I needed the board. And then I still have the daydream quilt that I have the finishing kit for, which are these big blue blocks down here, which I don't know if you can see right there. And they I just haven't started that, so that is another one that will be really close to being completed. And then I am in the middle of the latest block of the month, which is this one right here, the flowers, which is through Reb's Fab Stash. And I just received notification that my box is coming to me, so I should be getting another video with the most recent subscription box from them, and then there'll be another video that will follow because there'll be another flower block that will come out of that one. So let me show you what's going on behind me. All right, so this right here is a train. It was tiny little pieces. It's not perfect, but considering the fact that the pattern needed some tweaking and I'm not very good at making things with little pieces, I think I did pretty good. So when I was doing the shop hop, I picked up this, let's see here, these two ends right here, they're called a bell, and normally you could do it like this, but this needed to go this way. And because I wanted to make sure it stayed level, I actually put a piece of wire in here, only on the edges, to keep it nice and flat, because it is not hanging this way. So there's my little train. Do you see the bolts of fabric and the thread spools? Isn't it cute? This is going to stay in my sewing room. All right, so see if I can get you to see. Nope, not all of them. A lot of them. Okay, this right here, well, I'm just gonna bring them closer. This is a little watermelon. This is from Reb's Fab Stash from their 2022 boxes. In fact, most of these little squares like this were. I will tell you where I got them, but you're gonna hear a lot about Reb's Fab Stash. So this is pieced watermelon, and then it was appliqued on with a top stitch. And these are buttons, and I glued them on because I didn't feel like sewing them on. And then I just quilted it and bound it. And they all have a little hanging tab so I can put them on things. I have to find some of my hangers, but I don't know that I'll have them all out at the same time anyway. But anyway, this right here is also from Reb's Fab Stash. This is the very first block of the very first box I got from them that had 3 different birds. They're from Riley Blake, and this one was the applique bird. And so this actually, all of these so far are with the fabrics that they sent with those blocks. Let's see. This was also included in that same month. This is a regular pieced one. Then they had a paper pieced one that I just haven't done. I didn't feel like doing it, and I might not ever do it. But these are 2 of the 3 birds that came that month. Let's see here. I couldn't tell you what month any of these things are anymore, but this is also Reb's Fab Stash. And they use the suede fabric line by P&B, which is actually the same line that we're using on their block of the month. And so I had some leftover of that same line from that, and I put this on here, so it's not the exact same color, but it's the same texture, and it does coordinate. So there's that. Also from Reb's Fab Stash, this was a holiday block. It's holly. And they were all quilted on my domestic machine, mostly straight lines. See on the back of these? I didn't do anything fancy. These are all the backs. Kind of hard to see, which is okay, because that's kind of the point, right? Here's a fall one. This one uses the fabric from Adele in Fall, which I have a quilt that I will be showing you later using the same line. So this actually would be really cute little wall hanging with or without that quilt in the same room, but they use the same fabrics. And this I did super simple quilting, just stitch in the ditch, made a 9 grid. Let's see here. This is made with half square triangles, also from Reb's Fab Stash. It's a mountain with the greenery and the snow and the sky. You can see little stars. And all I did to these is add a border, so the backing and the border. But so far, the fabrics that you're seeing were what came with the patterns. Let's see. And we have this one. This was appliqued on. Here's my stitching on the back. It's not as pretty, but you're not going to see the back. And I didn't have as much of the same color blue for the tab, so I decided to make a single tab like this where it can hang. It's the only one I did like this. And it is appliqued on there, or top stitched. This also, Reb's Fab Stash. So far they all are. This was a Valentine's one. And here's the fun stitching I did on the back. Again, most of my applique or quilting on his was a straight stitch. The heart was appliqued, so I do have a blanket stitch going around that, which was done on the front piece before it was quilted. So on the back you just see that I did a straight stitch outline around the heart. We have this guy, it's a pencil. Most of them I use a similar background. Now this month they sent 2 different patterns, so I'm showing the other pencil. This one I have on a hook. This one does not have any tabs on it. I thought it was cute. It'd be cute maybe as a placemat or as a little wall hanging place setting. So it could be for anything. Alright, so we have this, and these hangers can be used for anything. This is just how I put them on the wall when I was playing with them. But I like this because it has the little claws. So this can be used as on a surface. Actually, all these could be. You just have to tuck the tabs down, and they're flat anyway. But that's this one. Oh, here they are. Again, I put the backing and the borders on them. I did elaborate with this one and add the wide black border to this. So that is one change I made. Here we are with a cute little heart. And if you look real close, you can see there's a little bit of a heart quilt. You can kind of see it better back here. It's just straight stitching, but the way I did it was kind of in chunks of 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. And anyway, that was my thing right there. My camera died. So I want to show you this quilt. This is called Fierce Lady. This is modeled after the drawing blank San Francisco houses. Painted ladies. There we go. And so they're the houses on the hill. So I use batiks. They have this little raw edge right here. See if you can see that here. It will not get washed, so it doesn't matter. I use batik on the back. And all I did was stitch around my houses and on the hill, and then give it an extra line right here for some fun. And here's the back. I have this nice batik, and then the black trim, no border. Black binding, no border. There we go. And that is a pattern. In case you're wondering, my wall has 2 inches of foam core board. I'll have to show you how I made it one day, but it is about that thick of styrofoam, so I can poke needles into it, or pins. It's awesome. Okay, now this one right here. This one I got from a local quilt store. In fact, the same store where I got this from. These were from what they called row by row. I believe it was the shop hop theme one year. And here is the top. I don't know if you can read that. It says row by row 2016. I bought this separately, but I did just buy this recently. And so it's perfect for this. And this is my Sue Sunbonnet Sue. There we go. With their ice cream cones. This sat on my back wall for a long time because I needed to applique around each of these ice cream flavors in the right color of thread for each color. And I finally got it done when I did everything else. So as far as the quilting, I just did straight lines going across it and then an outline of her and the ice cream. I don't know if you can see that on the back. Not really a lot to it, but that was applique. Now this right here was pieced, and I did do the quilting just on a horizontal. There, okay. This one right here came from my girlfriend's quilt shop. It is a pattern that you purchase. I think you can get it off their website. You can definitely get it in their stores. It is a pillow, but I decided to make it a wall hanging. So I quilted it and put this red back on it. I'm actually not quite done. As you can see, the apple itself has not been quilted. As I switched colors, I just moved my projects around, and I didn't do anything with red yet. So that can easily be done even at this point. So I want to do some kind of a, probably on an angle, quilting on my apple. But these 2 pieces right here were appliqued on, and they have their little blanket stitch that goes around it. And I decided to make it a wall hanging. I have a pink quilt that I'm going to show you. This is a little quilt or wall hanging or table topper with the leftover fabrics from it. It's very, very similar to that quilt, but not quite. There's no white on this, and these blocks are actually a little smaller. So when I show you the quilt, you will see a little bit of this up close, and you will see the 2 together. So I have that. I also have this. I had a whole bunch of little squares. So I made a 12 by 12 pillow cover and gave it the envelope closure. And the quilt itself has this fabric on the binding. So ties everything together. I put orange on this binding, and it's just a lot of bright, so should perk up somebody's room. Okay, I already talked about this. I just went through and I was editing my video, and so I talked about all my wall hanging stuff. For some reason I didn't get these last few bits, but then I've already taken pictures of my quilts, and you will see that following this section on the video. But I talk about this. I didn't have it with me where we were taking pictures of that fall quilt, so I want to just point this out to you that you will see this, and I'll talk about it, but you won't see it there, but it's here. I'll see if I can put those 2 together here so you can see it. This is a leftover block from the Bliss Quilt Along. So I used all 12 blocks, had to make one of them twice because my video wasn't working. So I got a practice block, and so I decided to turn it into a pillow cover. I used the same fabric that I put on the backing of the quilt, made a nice envelope closure and a bigger border, making this a 14 by 14 pillow cover. and it will just look really nice together. Now with my pillow covers, this and the other one, and anytime I do one, I quilt them. So what I do is I put my batting in there, and then I back it with some fabric, and then I do my top stitches, and then I enclose it with a serger or a straight stitch followed by a zigzag stitch. So there's no enclosed seams anywhere. Sorry, they're all enclosed, there's no exposed seams, and it's quilted, and there's no raw batting in there for pillows or hands to get stuck on when you're stuffing it. So you will see the quilt that this goes with following this section. All right, so here's a quick run around my wall. There's the pillow cover 14 by 14 for the Bliss Quilt Along. Here is my train that's a row by row with the wire on the sides and the bell pulls. Here are the block of the months from Reb's Fab Stash. This one is from my girlfriend's quilt shop. It's a pillow that I turned into a wall hanging. And then the pink items right there go with a coordinating quilt. Here's some more items from Reb's Fab Stash. These were their blocks of the month. Not this one, but all these others over here. And then this is my Sunbonnet Sue. That was the row by row. And my Fierce Ladies, which is just like the painted ladies in San Francisco. And I have more of these hangers. I just am not sure where they are right now. So I only have a couple of them on the wall. But all of them have little tabs except for this one. Because I just didn't feel like putting one on there, and I knew I had that particular hanger. So realistically, I think that's going to end up like on a tabletop or something. So there's all my things that I have been up to, and they're finished. And I'm going to another retreat, so we'll see what I come back with, because most of these were put together at the last retreat. I just keep all my big ongoing projects on the wall to remind me that they are there. We're about ready to take pictures of quilts. Getting everything set up. We use the banister. Here's the pile of quilts. This is my quilt called Pick Up Sticks. I did 2 different tutorials on this. One showing how I did the blocks and one putting it together. This is one of my patterns. I call this one Hopscotch. The free pattern can be found on my website, which is softsquares.com. Go under products, and then patterns. Here's another one that did not have a pattern. It's from a Maker's Monday video. This is the quilt from the Bliss Quilt Along from the Back Quarter Shop, where I use my own fabric. And this is how mine turned out. It has a matching pillow, and I'll show you that. There it is with the matching pillow. It matches the back fabric. And it's just an extra block. This is the super simple quilt that I did on a Maker's Monday using just one block. It also has a matching, a matching thing. I'll show you later. I love it when I can't think what I'm trying to say. Adele involves the fabric lined. This is the Cathedral window quilt that I did. It has all these layers. There were actually a couple of videos where I did this, building the blocks and then building the quilt. And these have cute little sewing things on it. This one I'm going to keep, probably figure out where to put it in my sewing room. And here it is on the back with cute little words. It says handmade with love. And I don't know if you can see it up there. They put scissors and rotary cutters and a tomato, all kinds of things in on the stitching. It's kind of hard to see right now. Anyway, there's that one. This is the mystery block of the month from Cotton Cuts, where I got clues each month. I did not know what I was making until the very end. My borders are a little different, but I think everyone ended up doing something like that to make it their own. And it's really pretty. This is the quilt that was inspired by the American Patchwork Quilting magazine. It has a small little quilt or wall hanging that matches it, which I'll show you with this. It also has a pillowcase, pillow cover. It's a good size quilt. You don't need the pattern. There's a video on this as well as all the others. This is another quilt that I made that I've given you a pattern to. Again, go to softsquares.com, look under products and patterns, and it's a free pattern, it's a free download. It's called Foursquared. You can make it any size you want. I had extra pieces, so I elaborated and added to the border using these. I also backed it with a microfiber blanket, so it's not minky, it's better than minky. This is what I'm calling my retreat quilt. My friend Debbie, you know who you are, is making the same one. Mine got done, hers didn't, because she did all the hard work before it started. So she's actually did more than I did. Anyway, this is the quilt. It's okay, it's coming down. It is 110 by 110 with minky and wool batting. This is gonna go on my bed. I took this to the laundromat to wash it because this is my quilt. It has wool in it. I wanted to see how it looked, and most of the quilts that I have are not washed. So here it is, a fluffy quilt. It has a nice little pucker. This is wool batting. Never tried it before. I really like it. And I had to put it on the bed, and my husband climbed in before I could take a picture, so there he is. Here is the quilt, and here's the backing. Let's do this to front. Here's the quilt. The backing on it is this large orange. And here is my little wall hanging, same fabric, except it has this little maple leaf on it, and I use the same fabric on the backing as well as the binding on this. So not only are they the same fabric line, but they are like pretty much the same. So there you go with those two. Here is my Bliss Quilt Along quilt. So you saw it in the other section in that room with the gorgeous stairs that I like to use for my pictures, but this is the front and the back, and then here is my pillow cover for a decorative pillow. So it's just one of the blocks taken from the quilt. Okay, so here we have this quilt. Again, all of these quilts are in videos. I will go back to the original video where I made these and link this video. So if you watch that video, there's a quick link in the description that will take you to this video so you can see what it looks like finished. And I'm going to try to put links in the description for this video of all the different videos from all these different quilts. So hopefully you can find where things are, but these have all been made this year in 2023. All right, so here's this quilt. Here's the back of it. Here's the binding, that little stripe that I was talking about. And then here's the little throw pillow using the same stripe on the back is what I have going on here on the binding. And then here is the little quilt. Similar but different. This is not working, is it? Earlier I had helpers. So here's all three pieces. So now you can see all of them together. I don't have measurements on these. The original video will have a measurement. You can tell by looking at them, they're good size. This one's a twin. Eventually, most of my quilts end up going on Etsy. I'm behind on getting them on there, so I have all of these plus all the ones from the video. That was the last video in the year for 2022, so towards the end of December I did one. None of those are all listed on Etsy yet either. So softsquares.com and Etsy are where you can find most of these quilts, and at some point they will most all be there, except the ones I'm giving away, of course. But you will see them there if you're looking for them. And I hope if you want to see more quilts, go to my Etsy shop, Soft Squares, because not only can you see a lot of quilts on there, including ones before I was making videos, but you can see history, like the sales history, and see a lot of the quilts that have sold if you want to see some more of my quilts and my work. This was a big project and I'm tired. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been up to and how things have come together. I do try to do show and tells throughout the year. I'm linking back to the original videos that they came from. So this is the first show and tell or trunk show for 2023. Watch for more. There will be more because I'm busy making stuff. So thanks for being with me today. Have a great day.